friend of mine had a little girl. She was born without legs and without one hand, and had just a small part of a hand and a part of one heel. This little girl, when she was 1 and 2 years old, she said, "I want to be a dancer." But she still had to move and manipulate, get around, climb around, go places, do things, and she did it with her subs and went along with it. But she ended up going to a specialized school, and she ended up being physical and being and doing everything she could do. I went and saw her when she was 18 at a professional performance, and I'm looking at the whole stage, watching everyone dance. I couldn't single out her as any different, as I didn't see anybody not functioning and not dancing properly. But she was working with gravity to use her artificial legs, and the other people were using muscles to jump, and she did it so well I couldn't know it. So there's many victories. You know, you get hurt in an accident, you misuse your energy, or you suddenly get hit by something, get in an accident, you have to rebuild your strength again. Boy, not an easy thing to do. So as we're doing things, we bring attitudes, we bring values, we get satisfied, we don't. When we're satisfied, we walk around like a Viagra ad. But when we're not, oh geez, we get attitudes, we drag ourselves along or complain ourselves along, and whatever we do, the energy we put into it is what we create. We make our own reality. So when you're trying to understand Mars, it's hard to predict Mars because it can be so many different things of how we apply energy. I lift my hand, I started something, I hit somebody, or I bang something, I fall over, you know, I trip, you know, I smash the car, or I get I'm speeding the car, you know, I'm trying to drive too fast. I'm pushing other people to go as fast as me. Now, I find whenever I'm late, I'm trying to go a little faster. I drive a little fast anyways. But you're pushing the limit, and you're going a little bit faster to catch up, so you're going to be late. And whenever you do this, there's always somebody, some idiot, that's right in front of you that's doing exactly what's right. They're driving at the exact speed that the highway says. Imagine that. But they're driving there, you're behind it, you're late, you're in a hurry, you're ready to go, you want to pass them, you're mad at them. How could they barely do that? How could they be doing exactly what's right in the law? That's enough to get anybody mad. So you try and speed around them or whatever, and you make things even more dangerous. But it's hard for it not to get, like, it's just funny how we run into things. You know, if you had an ex, you split up, and you're going to dance, and the ex shows up with someone else, it's going to bug you. It's going to hit this nerves of, what did I do? What am I doing? It's going to challenge you. So the adrenaline to deal with a challenge. Oh yeah, I can do it. I can do it better. I can do it faster. I can do it fast. I can do this. I can get this. Like, that's a very masculine way for, but it's there for all individuals. Girls are very competitive. Do you want, even on a relationship side, do you want the dangerous guy or the safe guy? What do you have to do to get in a relationship? We still have a physical shape, how much of shape, what we're doing, or how much we're feeling other people have to do things for us. If we want other people to do things for us, that's not necessarily the strongest Mars. Usually you have to do other things. It's enough, you just do it, it's simple. Something's wrong, something breaks, you fix it. You know, but boy, it's funny, we can look at a broken light, a light bulb can be burned out on our ceiling, and we can look at that and say, I'm going to fix that. I'm going to fix that. You can think of that for 6 months and never even think about it. Then it takes 2 seconds to go change it. A minute, you got it done. But you had the negative thoughts and the negative reactions around it for 6 months. Well, how many things do we put off because we want to do one thing now when we don't want to take care of all the other things? So what we do in each 24 hours, what are you doing with your life? What'd you do today? What are you doing now? You're doing what now? Okay, so like, what are you doing? This is Mars. It's alive. It's not your purpose or goals. You can use your power, your confidence to really pump yourself up, and with the sun energizing Mars, you can get adrenaline, you can expand, you can be on more, going more and more. So like, but it's normally just energy and force. How do you use your force? How do you use your muscles? How have you used your muscles today? It's interesting. What's the strongest muscle in your body? No, it's not the thigh. The strongest muscle in your body is your jawbone, is your jaw muscle. It moves your jaw, it breaks things, it boosts things. If it gets messed up, it affects your hearing. Like, so it's so much is hinged just on your jaw. So people can be very forceful, just talking, yelling, angry, whatever, shouting, complaining. Usually there's if there's a shouting and complaining or a lot of vulgarity, usually that's a dissatisfied Venus trying to act out their discontent and justifying their rage. That's Mars. So envy is kind of Venus. Jealousy is kind of, and envy is you got something I want. But jealousy might be, it's a competitive thing. It's like, I got to get even. I got to get back. You did that. I'm going to get you back. I'm going to do this. You're going to do that. Like it's push and pull. You push, someone's going to be pulling. You pull, someone's going to push. Like, how far are you? In Tai Chi, there's a type of movement where you call it push hands. You try and push forward, but the person's holding their hand back at the same pressure. So there's no really pressure. You move your whole body backwards and forwards, but you're not, one person's not backing up. You're staying right, kind of stuck on each other, but you're not forcing it. Someone's forcing, you're backing up. As soon as they push as far as they can, then you can either pull them or push back and go along. So anything about physical shape, yoga, Tai Chi, martial arts, dancing, these are all Martian activities. Work, going out to do it, standing up, running around, fighting with your brother or sister, running down the stairs, competing. This is all Mars. It's really a big part of all of us. You know, but sometimes we have our lives controlled and set so we don't have to do too much. Sometimes we're having desperately do everything we possibly can to hold the things together and we're not succeeding with it. Sometimes it's hard to find a job. So when we're looking at Mars, you're seeing how people do things. It's how you apply your energy, your desire to come, how you use your energy, and how easy or difficultly that happens. So there's 12 attitudes for the 12 signs. There's 12 different areas that you're going to be most active or aggressive in. And you could say passionate about, competitive about, and then there's going to be the aspects that show how it gets warped this way or that way, how much stress is involved with it. So wherever Mars is, there's going to be power, force, anger, aggression. There's going to be a desire to gain experiences in that area or to push in that area. You have to use your force in that area. So you got to take a moment, think about your Mars. Just because someone did something, goes out and does something. So many things come out of one action, one step, one action, one doing things. So we do things, out of all the things we do in any day, how many mistakes do we make? How many times do we trip or not do something or put something off that should be done and let it accumulate? Every day. Nobody is all good or bad. No one can maintain it all the time. As soon as we use up energy, there's a challenge to have to recharge it. Just like if there's a war, someone's got to be feeding all the soldiers or they're not going to win. So you have to be eating right to be able to be physically in best shape. But the energy to have a kid, to get up and get a kid, get around, take care of everything that's happening, that's a whole nother level of action. It's still demanding day to day, minute to minute. And you're not going to succeed in everything. It's going to be sometimes you'll be up, sometimes you'll be down. But even that's the results of earlier actions. You know, so whoa, it's our sexuality, but not how we get content. It's how we're able to prove how good we are to other people, how I can satisfy you. If I'm working for you, I can do the job well. I do everything you need. You'll want me to stay there. But if I'm doing the job and I start arguing and complaining or fighting with the other people that are in the place, I'm going to lose it because I might have the strength, but I'm not using it. I'm interfering or I'm blocking. It's not working with other people. Same thing. You can just move into a neighborhood. You're just trying to do some things, but there can be gangs or prejudice or confusion. Oh boy. There's so many obstacles that come up to doing things. It doesn't mean you can't do it. You just got to find ways around it. I was a small kid. There was always gangs and bullies. I had to be smart enough to figure out how to get around them just to get to school each day without being beaten up. So this is 6, 7, 8 years old, 10 years old. So these are, but I managed, I survived. I may have been caught a few times, but I just learned to be faster or when to run. So the people that are strong, that extra strong, can use their strength to help other people or to hurt other people. There's always bullies. Then there's people who don't get what they want and they're not strong enough to do it, and they have to learn how to do it better. And they're often the more wiser people. In the long term, they can accomplish much more. But my point is, nobody, even if someone's a gangster or a murderer or whatever, they're not going to be negative and mad and angry every minute of the day. They just have that wild card, that part that comes out. When they go home, they probably aren't thinking about that at all. But sooner or later, what we put out comes back. And as we put energy for big projects, it takes a lot of our energy. It takes it away from other places. And there's repercussions from this. If you give me your energy, or if I give you my energy, and then the next day, well, I just don't tell you, but I go give that energy to someone else and I'm not giving it to you. What? Wow. So a lot of conflicts, fights, wars, battles, adrenaline, sore muscles, any anger, cut, burn, fever, these are all Mars related. Their energy blocks up. I bang something. I get mad. I bang something. It blocks up. I get stressed out. I get a fever. I get a headache. I get an accident. I'm going to cut something. Oops, I cut myself. I drop something. I break something. These are all disruptions of energy. So there's so many ways we experience Mars every minute. Now, we learn to guide it properly or not. We learn to discipline ourselves or not. You can climb a mountain. You want to climb a mountain? You can climb a mountain. You want to go skateboard on the road? You can go skateboard on a road. But at the same time, you can do anything. But boy, if you're prepared and you've disciplined yourself and you've worked on it and you've done it with other things and you've concentrated on making consistent effort, that consistent effort will accumulate. And then it's much easier and more efficient to climb the mountain. So the Girl Guide Boy Scout motto of be prepared, that's a Saturn motto, but it's be prepared so you can accomplish it, so you can do things. If you get blocked, nothing like an enemy to challenge you to have to do something better. You know, so if you never run across someone competing with you, well, how far will you push yourself? If someone's fighting for the same thing and you got to compete, well, it's forcing you to have to be more together. This law of the strength, law of the jungle, that's always there. Who's the strongest? They're much more stronger than me, but may not be smarter. But there may be other ways to use their energy. Everybody has certain types of, even if you're teaching someone to swim or ski, everyone's got different proportions, different sizes, different muscle ways, and they have to learn to coordinate in slightly different ways for it to work well for them.